It's a big victory for us tonight. I'm really proud of our team. They competed. They overcame a lot of adversity on the court tonight. The games are really cyclical. You know, there are some highs and lows that you have to, have mental toughness and physical toughness through, and I'm proud the way our guys responded. We got off to a little bit of a slow start. We didn't make our free throws early in the game. We didn't shoot the three very well tonight, but we shot close to 51% from the field. And our guys just weathered any of the storms that we encountered throughout the game. But on a personal note, on behalf of our team, I really want to thank our fans. We had close to a sellout tonight. I think it's the largest crowd, since a North Carolina game in the 80s. And for our fans, and the student section was rocking tonight. And on behalf of our players and our administration, I want to just thank all of our fans and students and season ticket holders and everybody for coming out. If we can continue to build on that crowd tonight, then we start to have an incredible home court advantage here in Coleman Coliseum, like a lot of other top programs around the country. So that's my opening statement. And any questions for our student athletes?
Go ahead and start with Cecil, and we'll go over here.
For Dazon, what were your emotions tonight? Were there any nerves coming at you? You talked yesterday about it, some maybe having some jitters in your first game. Was that kind of out of the way? And you seemed to play better in the second half.
At first I had a little bit of nerve, but as the game went on, it just started to wear off. And as we started to play fast, like we supposed to, then it just all went away.
Let's go over to Michael and then Mark.
What were your thoughts on your new teammate, his first time out there as a official game?
I'm proud of him. Dazon's a gamer. He's one of those guys that's really talented and has tremendous potential. And what you guys saw tonight was just a glimpse of it. That guy's tremendous upside, and I know he's going to be big for this program this year and the years coming forward. So I'm proud of him. He did a great job.
Let's go Mark on the right here.
For Retin, you got off to the hot start to sort of give the team some offense early. What was working for you early on out there?
It was a team effort. Our guys did a great job of moving the ball and cutting hard, and whenever you do that, the defense has to commit to it. So that opened gaps that I had the opportunity to take advantage of, and at the same time, those are the same things you saw Dazon doing. And that's going to come with our offense. If everybody cuts hard, moves the ball, things will open up for all of us.
Other questions for student athletes? Let's go over to Alex on the left, and then we'll go to Matt.
For both of the players, how important was it to kind of come out when y'all did kind of struggle early on and really put the foot down? I think you got like a 12-point lead early and really kind of put the game away early.
Go ahead, Retin, start.
Just like Coach said, games are cyclical. So, you got to be able to weather the storms within the game. You're not going to shoot lights out, for 40 minutes. You might have one of those games, but at the same time, you have to be able, to play defense whenever your offense is not working. So I think as a team we did a great job of that. We still have some areas we have to improve. We got to convert on our free throws. We got to rebound better, prevent them from getting as many offensive rebounds as they did, and at the same time getting those offensive rebounds because I think they out-rebounded us on the glass. So little stuff like that, just cleaning up the details and continuing to grow as a team.
Like Retin said, basketball is a game full of runs. They got on a run, and at the end, we was able to stop it. So that was the key to the game, and we got on a roll, and they wasn't able to stop us.
Back in the right.
Retin, was there anything that they did or that you saw on the floor in the start of the second half that was kind of slow, and even that drought that you guys ran into, it's about halfway through the second half, that they did to play you guys off your spots, or were things just not falling for you guys?
I think more than anything, it's the things that we didn't do, coming out aggressive like we did in the first half. But yeah, that just comes with being a young team. We got to realize that the first four in the second half, the first four in the first half, those are really important as it comes to setting the tone. So I know going forward, that's something we're going to work on, and I'm excited to see where we're headed.
Michael?
Right, when number 4 out there seemed like he was unconscious, didn't seem like he had a care in the world shooting the ball. What was it like seeing him on the floor?
Gosh, he's a talented player, but at the same time, we got to do what we got to do. If a guy gets hot, the best thing we can do is try to make every shot hard for him, and he made some tough shots. But at the same time, what we focus on is getting the win, and I'm glad we were able to pull that off.
Do a couple more questions, first to AP, and then we'll go to Al.
Dazon, did your summer and preseason preparation pay dividends tonight?
Oh, yes, sir. All the hard work we worked with Lou and on the court and off the court, it paid off in the game.
Last question, Alex.
Hey, what was something definitely kind of changed for you in the second half? You kind of came out fresher. What changed for you, especially beginning after halftime?
My teammates just told me to keep being aggressive, and at the end I was able to do that, and it was like, as a team, it was able to get my teammates open, and they was able to knock down shots.
And then let me just jump in on that question. One of the things that they decided to do was go to a matchup zone, and then they would go to a man-to-man on our first or second pass. So, in talking to the guys at halftime, we decided that our adjustment was going to be to run one of our man offensive plays. We weren't going to really run a zone offensive play, because then they'll jump back into a zone. So they did a good job of reading those situations of when they're in a matchup, of running, one of our man-to-man offensive sets, and we think we put them in a bind by doing that.
All right, student athletes, you guys are good to go.
All right, thanks.
Go ahead.
Good job.
Start with Michael, then we'll go with Sam.
Just wanted, you ever take the jacket off during the game, or do you ever get hot out there?
No.
Usually,
I keep my jacket on the entire game. I love keeping my jacket on, and only time it's going to come off is after a game, unless, maybe around the 20th game of the year, something crazy happens on a road trip. But, for the most part, I like to keep my jacket on the entire game.
Don't get hot?
I don't get hot, no, not at all.
Go standing over the seats.
Coach, talk about both those players and how they kind of led y'all tonight with their energy and just their overall play.
Yeah, we've been searching, all training camp, trying to figure out the best combinations, and we continue to go back to Dazon and Retin playing in the backcourt together, and both of those guys allow us to be a lot more flexible, especially on defense and even on offense, because they both can handle the ball. But we can get a lot more creative with our defensive system and game plan, and tonight when those guys went to the bench, that's when Brown started getting hot. So we had a little bit of a drop off there defensively when they weren't in the game, and that's something that we're going to have to address.
Cecil?
Coach, first, just to follow up on Dazon, what sort of advantage does his size give him, particularly at the point position?
Before I answer that question, Cecil, I'm a little bit disappointed that you stole one of my wife's chicken wings last night.
I did not. I did have a shrimp.
All right, good. But what's your question?
It's just about the matchup problem that Dazon creates.
Yeah, when you're 6'6", 210 pounds, 215, solid muscle, and can see the floor the way he can see the floor, you can do a lot of things with him offensively. He can play pick and roll. You can post him up. His in-between game is good. He's a terrific offensive rebounder. So, smaller point guards, we hope that he continues to give those guys problems. And then he can guard all three positions on defense. So I just think, with him quarterbacking the team, he just did an unbelievable job tonight, just getting us in our sets and knowing what to run. And I didn't have to stand up the entire game coaching him through, and trying to call plays for him. He had a pretty clear picture of how we wanted to attack them defensively.
And there were times when you seemed to be able to get the ball inside to Jimmy, but is that still something y'all are working?
Yeah, and we missed Jimmy a couple of times tonight. But yes, we made a concerted effort of trying to get him the ball, and also their strategy was to try to foul him when he caught the ball. So we think Jimmy's going to continue to improve with making his free throws. Coach Bob has been working with him on his routine, and he just need to go through his routine every time and trust it. But he did a great job for us rebounding the ball tonight.
Just to kind of carry on that, the free throws, obviously in 2 straight games now, I know exhibition doesn't count, but where y'all struggled at the line, several didn't hit a single free throw tonight. Most of them really only came from 2 guys. So
Yep.
I guess how disappointing is that, and how do you hope to build
You
on
know
that?
what? We're not going to overhype it. It's like I said about a quarterback controversy. We're just going to work on it, practice it, take it, be focused in practice. Our guys can make free throws. Arthur Edwards missed his first 2 free throws. He's a guy we're relying on to be a 85% plus free throw shooter. So, we've seen them make it in practice. I just think little jitters there. Their confidence is still high. We'll shoot a ton of free throws when we practice on Sunday. I expect us to not only shoot free throws better, but also to shoot the 3 better. We're not a 4 for 17 from 3-point shooting team or 1 for 8 in the second half. We had some wide open shots that I know we can take and make. So it's no big deal. First game, I anticipate us stroking the ball out much better than we did tonight.
You touched on this a little bit, but posting Dazon and also Retin, are those called plays or just them filling the game? And just
it's a combination. Sometimes it's a call, sometimes it's a read. And but again, let me just finish the last part of my answer. If you told me the rest of this year we're going to score 77+ points a game and we're going to shoot close to 51% from the field, I'll sleep pretty good at night. That's a pretty good deal for us. And, for us to be competitive on the defensive end with our defensive system and game plan and individual tendencies, that's a step in the right direction for us. So this was a night we could have easily scored 90 points. It didn't happen, but our guys, I think they'll make it happen as we move on.
Just a couple more questions, Matt.
Yeah, obviously during the course of the game, there were some times where you were noticeably excited. It seemed like you were happy with what was going on. There were some other times where it was noticeable that your head was in your hands or you had that kind of Avery stare, like you weren't happy with what was going on. Is it fair to say that tonight was a mix of some things that were very much encouraging and also some things that maybe show that you guys are still a work in progress?
First of all, I'm not discouraged about anything with our team. We got a great group of guys. They practice hard. They play hard. They'll do whatever you ask them to do. Yeah, did we have a couple of silly turnovers? Did something happen that's been a major point of emphasis that we didn't execute? Sure. But at the same time, I think our coaching staff had an enormous amount of positive energy as it relates to our team during the game, in timeouts, and that's what I'm proud of. And I think our team felt it, and that's why their confidence stayed high.
Coach, I know you hadn't seen the film yet, but were there some instances tonight where you saw some things that were definitely teachable moments?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's what we call them in practice. We don't spend a lot of time yelling at our guys the entire practice. There are a lot of times we stop and we talk about teachable moments, teaching time, and, we had quite a few of those. But, again, at least our guys recognize some of the mistakes they made. There's no real gray area. So, a couple of guys made a mistake, and it was like, oh, okay, Coach, that's a big point of emphasis, or my fault, Coach. I knew I should have done something else differently. So that's what I like.
We have 2 more questions, both in front of me.
Yesterday we talked about the nerves part from your front. Did you feel any nerves tonight? I mean, coming from this first game for you, or how was that?
When I was relaxing a little bit at home today, there was a point when I was just thinking, wow, this is actually about to happen. And I think it was when I was picking out which suit I was going to wear tonight. And, I think it hit me for a minute, but I can't, with our team, I have to be confident 100% of the time. I have to be the anchor for our team in terms of confidence and making sure we're prepared, and and our staff, we have to fuel positive energy in our guys because they're young and inexperienced. But yeah, there was a moment or point this afternoon where I felt it a little bit. But by the time I got to the Coliseum and watched our women's team win a big victory today, it felt pretty good.
Last question over AP.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thanks.
Coach, were you pleasantly surprised by anything your team did tonight?
Pleasantly surprised. I think the way we finished the game. I thought we finished the game pretty good. You know, we had some situations out there on offense where guys just, when we were in the bind, they just made a play. It wasn't a call. They just saw an opening and made the right pass, penetrated, got to the basket, and got a couple of stops when we needed to. So I think down the stretch, I was happy with what I saw. Okay, thanks, guys. All right.